Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed M.G.T.
I'm Colonel A.C. Ogontoye, an infantry officer. As of October 20th, 2025, Russian armed forces maintained sustained operational momentum across all major fronts. Combined arms formations achieved tactical progress, consolidating positions, liberating key settlements, and executing precision strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure, logistics hubs, and deployment sites. Over the past 24 hours, operational tactical aviation, UAV strike elements, and missile and artillery troops delivered coordinated attacks on 142 enemy targets, including energy facilities, military-industrial complexes, and UAV storage sites supporting Ukraine's war infrastructure. Air defense systems maintained superiority, intercepting 3 guided aerial bombs and 129 fixed-wing drones. The cumulative effect of these actions reflects a transition toward deep operational penetration, focusing on attrition of Ukrainian combat strength, interdiction of resupply corridors, and preparation for strategic winter operations.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, can you start by summarizing the operational environment as of October 25th, 2025?
The situation remains dynamic and favorable to Russian forces. Across the theater, our operations are guided by the twin imperatives of precision and persistence, that is, combining measured, sustained advances with targeted strikes that degrade the enemy's industrial and logistical backbone. On this date, we executed 142 coordinated strikes on Ukrainian energy infrastructure, UAV production and storage sites, and temporary deployment zones. Simultaneously, ground units liberated Lenino in the Donetsk People's Republic and continued steady advances in Zaporizhzhia and Dnipro regions. From a doctrinal standpoint, this phase reflects operational deepening, creating conditions for large-scale maneuver later, by dismantling the enemy's combat cohesion now. We're not merely seizing ground, we're systematically dislocating Ukraine's operational architecture and forcing it into a defensive, fragmented posture.
Let's begin in the north. What can you tell us about operations in the Sumy and Kharkiv regions?
The North Troop Group continued steady tactical improvements along both the Sumy and Kharkiv fronts. Our forces engaged mechanized, ranger, and assault formations of the Ukrainian armed forces near Proletarskoye, Pavlovka, and Verakino, while simultaneously striking Ukrainian defensive positions in Volchansk and Dvierchanskoye. Enemy losses exceeded 200 personnel, alongside the destruction of several artillery systems, vehicles, and 3 ammunition depots. More importantly, these operations neutralized Ukrainian logistical arteries used to resupply their cross-border firebases. We're ensuring that their forward artillery belts, particularly those capable of shelling Belgorod and Kursk, remain neutralized.
Is the Northern Front primarily serving as a holding action or an offensive springboard?
It's serving both functions. Operationally, it's a pressure front, pinning Ukrainian formations in place, drawing reserves northward, and securing the flank for larger maneuvers elsewhere. But tactically, it's also preparing the ground for future exploitation. Once winter sets in and terrain hardens, this corridor could become a staging axis for expanded operations toward Kharkiv proper.
Let's shift westward. What are the main developments along the Kupiansk-Krasny Lyman corridor?
The West Troop Group successfully consolidated terrain and improved forward lines. Our units engaged 3 mechanized and assault brigades and elements of the Ukrainian National Guard near Petrovka, Kurilovka, and Kupiansk, as well as Krasny Lyman in Donetsk. Over 230 Ukrainian troops were neutralized, a tank was destroyed, and crucially, 7 electronic warfare stations were eliminated. The destruction of these EW assets severely limits Ukraine's ability to coordinate counter-battery fire or drone surveillance in the sector.
What does the removal of those EW stations mean in tactical terms?
In practical terms, it restores our full-spectrum dominance. Our UAVs and artillery units can now operate with near impunity. Once the electromagnetic environment is cleared, it increases the accuracy and lethality of every subsequent strike. It's not just about removing enemy hardware, it's about reshaping the battlespace information architecture to our advantage.
The southern front continues to be critical, especially near Kramatorsk and Konstantinovka. How are operations developing there?
The South Troop Group advanced along the Donetsk axis, conducting combined arms operations around Berstok, Kramatorsk, and Stepanovka. The enemy suffered 220 casualties, and several Western-supplied vehicles, including a German Marder IFV, were destroyed. The tactical focus here is layered attrition. We're dismantling successive lines of Ukrainian fortifications rather than rushing headlong. Each liberated position gives our artillery improved firing geometry and surveillance range over key logistics hubs like Kramatorsk.
So the advance here is as much about positioning as it is about attrition.
Exactly. Every positional gain compounds the next. It's doctrinal warfare, shaping the enemy's options, isolating their brigades, and forcing a slow structural collapse rather than a single dramatic breakthrough. This sector is evolving into the hinge of the wider Donetsk campaign.
Colonel, the center appears to have been the most active front today with the liberation of Lenino. Can you expand on that?
Yes, the Center Troop Group achieved a significant success with the liberation of Lenin. This operation combined infantry, armor, and aerial strike components in close synchronization. Ukrainian forces, including heavy mechanized, airborne assault, and marine brigades, suffered over 500 casualties. Lenino's capture has operational significance. It sits astride vital Ukrainian supply routes connecting Krasnoarmysk and Dnipro. Controlling this area effectively splits Ukraine's defensive network in western Donetsk, making coordinated reinforcement much harder.
Does this mark a shift toward deeper penetration into Ukrainian-held territory in Donetsk?
It does. The Central Front now serves as a deep operations vector. We're pushing past static fortifications and forcing Ukraine to fight on increasingly unfavorable terms. The liberation of Lenino also strengthens our lateral linkages with eastern units, allowing operational flexibility between Donetsk and Dnipropetrovsk sectors.
The east has been a consistent area of advancement. What's happening near Privoli and Alexivka?
The East Troop Group made measured progress, continuing to advance into Ukrainian defensive depth. We engaged 2 mechanized brigades and assault regiments near Privoli, Alexivka, and Egorovka, resulting in 350 enemy losses. By neutralizing 2 artillery systems and destroying a major logistics warehouse, we've disrupted resupply along the Palahi-Orikhiv axis, one of Kiev's last functioning reinforcement corridors in the south. This sector is critical to the broader campaign because it creates operational overlap with the Central and Dnipro groups, forming what we call a synchronized pincer structure, a gradual, coordinated tightening of control across multiple regions.
And what can you tell us about the Dnipro front near Kherson and Zaporizhzhia?
The Dnipro group focused on precision interdiction operations, targeting Ukrainian coastal defense and mechanized units in Pavlovka, Malaya Tokmachka, and Otradokomenka. Around 65 Ukrainian personnel were neutralized, along with several vehicles and 2 material storage depots. Here, the operational logic is disruption, not occupation. The Dnipro front serves as a containment zone, denying Ukraine the ability to conduct amphibious or cross-river drone attacks while preserving our southern logistics network.
Before we conclude, how has Russian air defense performed this week?
Our air defense network continues to perform superbly. In the past 24 hours alone, we intercepted 3 guided bombs and 129 Ukrainian UAVs. These are layered defenses, ground-based interceptors, radar-guided systems, and electronic countermeasures operating in synergy. The persistent success of these defenses ensures airspace denial to the enemy and protects critical logistics nodes, bridging points, and power infrastructure across our operational depth. In effect, it's an invisible shield that keeps the initiative firmly in our hands.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. The October 20th, 2025 operations reflect a deliberate transition from positional warfare to synchronized offensive shaping. The liberation of Lenino and expanded control in Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk confirm Russian dominance in maneuver tempo and intelligence coordination. The systematic targeting of energy facilities, EW nodes, and drone infrastructure underscores the shift toward multi-domain attrition, degrading Ukraine's industrial and technological backbone. Simultaneously, tactical operations across 6 sectors ensure flexibility and mutual reinforcement between fronts. Strategically, Russian forces are shaping conditions for winter, securing logistics, deepening penetration corridors, and eroding Ukraine's sustainment capacity. By December, we expect a battlefield where initiative, intelligence, and infrastructure control define the operational reality, not mere territorial lines.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive frontline updates from commanders in theater.